If you want to achieve true self-sufficiency and feed your family without relying on the supermarket, you need to know a simple truth. Most people fail in their first year not from lack of space, they fail from lack of a plan. The classic mistake is planting random crops during the excitement of spring and summer. Then winter arrives, your pantry stays empty, and you realize you produced far too much of what you don't eat and almost nothing of what you actually need. In this video, I'm going to give you the exact framework for portion-based gardening. It's a simple calculation that tells you the precise number of plants you must grow to secure food for your household all year round, including a mandatory insurance policy for pest losses and unexpected failures. If your goal is to turn your backyard into genuine food security, this is the video you need to watch. To build a garden that actually feeds your household, you have to replace vague guesswork with absolute clarity. We call this portion-based gardening. Instead of looking at a raised bed and asking, "Is this enough?" you start at your dinner table and work backward. Let's walk through an example using beetroot. This exact calculation applies to almost any crop you want to grow. First, define what a single portion looks like. For my household, one portion is 3 medium-sized beetroots. Second, determine your frequency. How many times a week do you want to eat them? Let's say twice a week. Third, decide how many weeks of the year you want to harvest. If you want a steady supply through autumn and early winter, that's roughly 16 weeks. Now we do the math. 2 portions per week multiplied by 16 weeks equals 32 total portions. Since each portion requires 3 individual beetroots, we multiply 32 by 3. That gives us 96 beetroot plants. That's your baseline target. However, if you plant exactly 96 seeds, nature will quickly teach you a lesson. Slugs will take their share, bad weather happens, or a few seeds simply won't germinate. If you only plant your exact baseline, you're planning for a shortage. This is where your garden insurance policy comes in. Whenever you calculate your target yield, always add a 15 to 20% buffer. Adding 15% to 96 plants raises your target to roughly 110 beetroots. By planting those extra 14 or 15 seedlings, you absorb natural losses without losing a single meal from your annual goal. To make this even simpler, look at how you plant. If you multi-sow beetroot in modular trays, each clump usually yields 3 to 5 healthy roots. Even on a conservative estimate of 3 beetroots per clump, every single clump you put in the ground represents 1 complete meal portion for your family. Instead of looking at a tray of 40 seedlings and wondering what it will produce, you instantly know that tray is 40 meals. That's how you turn a garden from a casual hobby into a dependable food system. But what if you don't have the space or time to grow 100 beetroots right now? Here are the 2 smarter ways to start. Now, if calculating hundreds of plants for your entire diet sounds overwhelming, stop right there. Trying to replace your entire grocery bill overnight is the fastest way to burn out and give up. Self-sufficiency isn't all or nothing. To make this work without losing your mind, you need to choose one of 2 simple strategies: incremental or crop-focused. Strategy number 1, incremental self-sufficiency. Don't aim for a full year of food on day 1. Start with micro-wins. Your first goal isn't feeding your family for a month. It's cooking 1 meal using your own herbs. Your next goal? A side dish made entirely from your garden. Then a full homegrown dinner. Then 1 full day. Then a weekend. By stacking these small victories, momentum takes over and it becomes a natural habit. Strategy number 2, crop-focused self-sufficiency. This is where you pick 1 ingredient and eliminate it from your grocery bill permanently. Take perennial herbs as the clearest example. Plant a single rosemary bush, a patch of mint, or some parsley. Learn how to take cuttings to multiply them for free, and just like that, you're 100% self-sufficient in herbs for the rest of your life. 0 grocery cost, minimal effort. You can do the exact same thing with salad greens or garlic. Plant a single raised bed with a plastic hoop cover, and you can supply your family with fresh salad for 8 months of the year. Or plant a dedicated bed of garlic in the autumn, store the harvest, and cross garlic off your shopping list forever. You don't need a massive farm to start feeling the freedom of growing your own food. You need a single win. But once you pick your crops, there's a massive strategic mistake that tricks almost every beginner when it comes to allocating space, pouring all your energy into summer abundance. It's so easy to fall in love with the summer garden. You have fresh tomatoes, crisp cucumbers, juicy peppers, and berries everywhere. It looks amazing on camera, and it feels like you're succeeding. But here's the truth. Summer is easy. Summer is naturally abundant. The test that actually matters for your family's food security isn't July, it's the dead of winter. If all your space is dedicated to soft, perishable summer crops, what happens when the first frost hits? Production drops to zero and you're right back at the supermarket paying inflated prices for imported vegetables. If you want true self-sufficiency, you need a fundamental shift in how you plan. You need to dedicate at least half of your growing space to winter crops and long-term storage staples. Think about the heavy hitters that carry you through the cold months and the early spring gap. I'm talking about storage roots like main crop potatoes, carrots, and beetroots that sit comfortably in cool sacks for months. Then you have onions and garlic that dry down naturally and sit in your pantry until spring without needing a single watt of electricity. On top of that, you have winter squashes, butternut being a good example, that give you massive calorie yields and stay perfectly good on a shelf for up to 6 months. And there are hardy greens like winter kales and leeks that literally stand in the freezing rain and snow, ready to be picked fresh whenever you need a meal. When you shift your planning so that half your garden works for you in the middle of winter, you stop treating this like a seasonal hobby and start building year-round food security. Now, to grow this much food without spending a fortune on store-bought fertilizer or compost, you have to manage your soil nutrients smartly. Here's the targeted feeding strategy that makes that possible. If you want to grow a large amount of food year after year, you run into a real problem. Compost. Buying bags of compost or rich soil amendments gets expensive fast, and making enough homemade compost to cover your entire garden every season is almost impossible for most people. The secret to becoming self-sufficient in compost is realizing that not all plants are created equal. You need to organize your garden by a nutrient hierarchy. Think of it in 3 tiers. At the top, you have your hungry fruiting crops, tomatoes, squashes, and peppers. They need the lion's share of your rich compost. In the middle tier, you have your root crops, carrots, and beetroots, which need moderate fertility. And at the bottom, you have your leafy greens, herbs, and edible flowers. They need almost no extra compost at all to produce a great harvest. So if you're running low on compost, don't spread a thin layer over every single bed. Instead, use targeted feeding. Dig a hole right where you're planting a hungry tomato or squash, drop a single generous handful of compost or worm castings right into the bottom of that hole, and set your plant on top. You're placing the nutrients directly where the roots actually need them, cutting your compost usage by more than half. To make all of this work, you don't need fancy technology or expensive inputs. There's an old saying in farming that the best fertilizer is the farmer's shadow. Simply being present in your garden for 5 minutes a day, noticing what needs water, catching a pest early, and making tiny 1% improvements builds more momentum than any store-bought product ever could. I'm curious about your own setup. Are you making enough of your own compost at home right now, or are you still relying on store-bought bags? Let me know down in the comments because I'd love to share some quick composting hacks in a future video. There's one final myth about self-sufficiency we need to shatter before we wrap up: the idea that you have to do everything completely alone. Real resilience isn't about isolating yourself on a remote plot of land and trying to grow every single calorie your family needs. It's built in community. If you end up with a massive surplus of squash and your neighbor has an abundance of eggs or citrus, you trade. When you share what you grow and what you know, you create a food network far stronger than any individual garden could ever be. Self-sufficiency isn't a destination you reach overnight. It's a continuous journey made up of small, intentional steps. Whether you start by calculating your first portion-based crop, securing a single herb plant for life, or dedicating half your space to winter staples, every single improvement you make brings your family one step closer to real independence. If you still have questions about how to apply portion-based math to your specific setup, Leave a comment below telling me which crop you want to plant next, and I can make a dedicated video about it. If you want help mapping out your own numbers, I've got a free planning calculator on the site and a full guide that walks through the rest of the setup. Links in the description. And if this video was helpful, make sure to hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, and share it with someone who wants to start growing their own food. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.